Hey, what's going on? My name is Andy Monroe, the co-founder of Bullish Events. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how we helped one of our clients achieve a 4.3 ROI, 4.3x ROI on their live event in just under 2 weeks. And when I say under 2 weeks, I mean this is from the moment that the client engaged us to work on the event. So about 2 weeks out from the event, there was pretty much nothing ready to go. There was no venue, there were no ticket sales, there were no co-hosts, no speakers. There was nothing was set in stone. And we had worked with this client on a few events before. We weren't supposed to work with them on this one, but we ended up working with them and we were able to put everything together and generate a 4.3x ROI in just under 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. And just some framing on this video. So this is going to be great for those of you who are just getting started or looking to get started in the live events space. So on this channel, you'll see me talk about a lot of events where we, have hundreds of attendees, sometimes even thousands. Sometimes we'll be generating, $100,000, $500,000, even $1 million in revenue. Sometimes even like I think our highest revenue generating event was around $4.4 million. These are some pretty big numbers and maybe not very approachable for those of you who want to get started. So this event had around 35 attendees in the room. Like I said, we generated a 4.3x ROI. That was off of around $1,000 of spend, so around $4,200 in revenue generated. So you can see it's much smaller and very approachable for those of you who want to get started. And that's exactly why I want to make this video, is to show you that people who want to start hosting events for their coaching or consulting business, you don't have to start with the big home runs with hundreds of attendees and millions of dollars in revenue. This event is simple, easy, replicable, and achievable. So I'm very excited to show you what we did. Now, step number one, when we are hosting any event, whether it's a fulfillment event, an acquisition event, a mastermind, doesn't matter what the event is, we always start off with determining the event objective. So like, what is the purpose of the event? Why are we hosting the event? Why is the client hosting the event? And what is the attendee getting out of the event? And for this event, the objective was to strengthen the school brand and community. So a little context, this event that we did was a part of Goose Dunlavy. He does this school IRL movement. If you guys don't know what school is, it's just a community platform where you can host courses. You can, build a community around whatever you want. You can have your coaching clients in there. You can have, we even do our done for you services through school. So it's really just a platform to build a community and sell your services to people that are interested. It's great. Love it. Couldn't recommend it more. So Goose, who is an ambassador for school, he does this, he calls it the IRL world tour. So he goes around the world and talks about the school platform, the school brand. And he also has some cool stuff that he's doing on the back end of his business. He probably gets some business from doing these events, but the main priority, the main objective for these events is to strengthen the school brand and to build community around the school platform, which is pretty cool. There aren't very many online community platforms that are doing in-person events. There's WAP, there's Kajabi, there's Circle. These are all really great platforms. I think school is better, but all those other platforms are not doing in-person events, like investing so much time into their community as school is. So that's a whole side tangent, but I think that's pretty cool, and that's also why we want to work with them in the first place. So like, as you guys know, we do events for high ticket coaching businesses. They're usually doing around $100,000 in revenue per month. So this event style isn't really what we do, but we were so like impressed and like we just like honestly in awe of what Goose was doing. We wanted to get involved and help him out. So that's kind of why we wanted to take on this event. Now, step number two is we determined the event offer. So even though this event wasn't an event where there's a high ticket offer being sold, there's still an offer. Like there's still a reason why people, like we still need to convey the value as to why people should attend the event. So for this event, the only offer was the event itself. There was no separate product offer being sold at the event. As mentioned above, the main objective for this event was to strengthen the community for school / bring awareness to the platform. So like I said, there was no high ticket offer being sold at this event. However, our client made it clear that they wanted to pay for this event with ticket sales and hopefully see a nice ROI. That was kind of the framing for us, was like, hey, we want to pay for this event through ticket sales. And if we make some money on the back end, that's totally fine. But the objective, like for this to be successful, would be for us to at least pay for the cost of the event through ticket sales. So again, yeah, we can help you out with that. So the GA offer was come connect with other entrepreneurs that are growing their business on school while learning from some of the top creators on the platform. The price point for this was $9. So $9 admission. There's a whole kind of backstory on why the ticket price was $9. School, the platform, their hobby plan is $9 a month. So we kind of decided on this $9 ticket price to, seed and anchor that price point for someone to join school on the hobby plan. We could probably charge more for the GA. Like I said, this event isn't meant to generate a ton of revenue. It's like there's a whole lot of intangible benefits from hosting these events. So there's a little bit of strategy behind this $9 price point. We could probably charge more, but we just thought it would be it's a great way to seed the entry point for the software itself, which is $9 a month. And then the VIP offer. Going back, the GA offer is just meant for like connection networking. For $9, you get access to this really cool room to network with. And there's also some co-hosts, some speakers that we assemble for the audience to listen to and learn from. So it's you get a lot of value for $9, I will say. And then the VIP offer is for one full day. You get the chance to work directly with some of the top creators on the school platform to solve any problems / bottlenecks that exist in your business. The main focus will be offer. So we will help you build out your offer through proven framework that is designed to thrive on the platform of school. Traffic, we will work with you to pick a main traffic source to send buyers to your community. And sales process, we will help you build out your sales process so that you can get traffic so that when you get traffic to your community, you will have a simple yet effective system in place to ascend them up into your different offers, whether it's one offer or multiple offers. And the price point for this was $997. So you essentially get a full day workshop on your business with some of the top creators on the platform for $1,000, which I think is incredibly reasonable for that price point. Most of the attendees, after doing 4 of these events, like I said, we use this VIP offer for all 4 of the events. And after seeing how much value the clients got from these VIP days, like if they don't at least make their money back, it's I don't want to say it's a skill issue, but let's just say there was a ton of value in the room at these events. Those are the 2 offers. And of course, when it goes into actually like marketing these offers, there's a lot that goes into it. But starting off, obviously this is step number 2 in our process. We really like to start off with building the offer, because then that kind of gives you an idea of who you should be getting into the room. If your offer is built for advanced entrepreneurs, you should probably have more advanced entrepreneurs in the room. If your offer is built for beginner entrepreneurs, you should have more beginner entrepreneurs in the room. It's just starting off with your offer is a great way to just control the quality and the type of person that you have in the room at your events. Now, there's a little error there, step number 2. So this is actually step 3, but it doesn't really matter. The next step is to determine the budget. One of the biggest mistakes that we made early on and that we see a lot of people making is that they start making decisions before they even have a budget established. So for this client, all of our events that we worked with them on were under $1,000. This is why I think this is a very good video for those of you getting started as well, because a lot of people see events as like this big investment, like so much money has to be dumped into it. I have to spend like $10, $20, $30, $50, $100,000 to make my event successful. And that's not the case. We spent under $1,000 on this event. We were able to get 35 attendees in the room, and we were able to generate a 4.3x ROI off of $1,000. So this shows you that you can do this as well if you want to start small, but you do want to start hosting events because you see the power. Because events are very powerful for coaching, consulting, and community businesses, but they can be a little intimidating sometimes. So this video is kind of meant to show you that it's not as hard, and it doesn't have to be as extravagant as sometimes we talk about on this channel and how other people talk about events. It can be very simple, easy, approachable. So step number 3, determine the event ticket price. We already went through this, but GA was $9, VIP was $997. Usually there's a little bit more strategy behind how we price our tickets, but for this event, these price points just made sense. Step number 4, determine the event date and duration. So this is going to be a 2-day event. Day 1 is GA, day 2 is VIP. The event dates were October 4th and 5th of 2025. So just wrapped up a few weeks ago. And then it was determine the event location. So this event was happening in Los Angeles, California, and we use peerspace.com for clients that have a little bit of a lower budget. Peerspace is a great way to find low budget event venues. Like I said, we were able to find an event that held 50 to 75 attendees for under $1,000 for an entire day on Peerspace. And this is no food and beverage minimum. No other requirements. There might be a few like taxes and service charges depending on where you live, but it's mainly just like the venue cost, a few tax and service charges, and you also get some stuff when you purchase one of these venues or when you rent one of the venues. You sometimes get a whiteboard, you get a TV, sometimes you get a projector, sometimes you get a speaker and microphone. It really depends on the venue, but you do get some AV, which is awesome, and you also get chairs and tables and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good deal for what you get. So if you guys want to host an event at a low budget and you don't really know how to find a venue and you don't want to go to a resort and like lock yourself into a food and beverage minimum, I would definitely recommend Peerspace if you don't want to just go like grind and like look through venue options on Google Maps, or you can work with ChatGPT as well. But there's some drop off between like the actual price points of what ChatGPT provides for you. We've been trying to use chat to find venues for a bit now. Yeah, it's not incredibly accurate yet. So Peerspace is a great place to start for that. And then step number 6 is build a community for events. So we built a community for this event on School. Makes sense. This event was for School, so the event community was being hosted on School. And I'm actually going to show you what that community looked like. My camera hasn't transferred over, or like my face down here, so I'm just going to assume that it's recording. But this is the About page. This was the School IRL, Los Angeles, hosted by Goose. This is essentially the landing page that someone sees when they first come to the community. They can join the community, and then inside the community, they can come in, they can buy their tickets in the classroom. I don't want to reveal any information because I'm an admin in this community, so I'm going to avoid clicking in there. But inside the classroom, they can buy their GA tickets and their VIP tickets. On the calendar, you can see that the event was on these 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And then inside the community, this is just where all of the communication was going down. We were making announcements about speakers, about the itinerary, the agenda. Attendees can ask questions. Regardless if you're going to use School or not, I would highly suggest building a community for your events. It just makes it very easy for people to like just go to one place to like see the itinerary, to see what's going on, to talk to each other, to ask questions. It also makes it easy for you as the event host to like make posts to everybody at once. Of course, you can send out emails and text messages and stuff like that, but having a community is a great idea. So this was the community we built out for this School IRL event. And then step number 7 was to lock in co-hosts and begin promoting. So for this event style, we were using co-hosts, and the co-hosts were other influential School users in the area that would present at the event / promote the event to their community. So it really depends on like your event style and the event objective. But for this event specifically, having co-hosts and speakers really made sense, especially since everyone that was a co-host was also a School user. It just helped like reinforce the power of the School platform, because the entire objective of this event was to strengthen the community around School and just like show people the power of the School platform. So you can see how important it is to determine your event objective. When we determine the event objective, everything we do after that is like it's the objective is like seated in the decision. So for us to like have the co-hosts be other powerful and influential School users, like that is because the School or the objective for the event was to showcase the platform of School and to build community around the School platform. So you can just see that it's very important for you to determine the event objective so that you can have that be your North Star as you make all these other decisions for the event. And I know I usually say that speakers don't sell tickets, but of course, as always, that's not a binary statement. Sometimes speakers do a really good job for selling tickets. For the most part, they don't. But for this one, they did. For this event, leveraging speakers worked well for us for a few reasons. The first is they all had communities that they could invite to attend. So every single co-host on the platform, or every single co-host at the event, had a successful community on the platform. So these people were already using School. They can go and just invite their community to come attend the event. And these people in their community really wanted to meet them in person. It was already a need and a desire for their community. So they're like, hey, I am going to be speaking at this event. I'm going to be hanging out there all day. Come buy this $9 ticket. You can come and meet me in person. We can hang out. Very easy ask. And also the members of their communities were familiar with the platform of School, and most of them were actually familiar with the school IRL movement that Goose was doing. So the audience was like relatively warm. It wasn't a cold ask really at all. So that's why having speakers promote the event really worked well. And some other key strategies for promoting the events that we used were outreach via School DMs, inviting people to attend. So me and my business partner, we were going into inside of School. You can actually, I'm just going to show you guys inside of School. If you go to here's this main, where's School? Where's that? Right here. There's this main community for School owners. This is where people can just like ask questions, share their wins. Cool stuff there. You can go to map, and on the map you can kind of find where your location is. This event was happening in Los Angeles, so we zoomed into Los Angeles. And essentially what I would do is I would go through all of these bubbles. So that's like 40 people, 37, 30, 11, 31, 59, 88. I'd go through and I would click on it and I'd find active School users in the area of Los Angeles. And I would just invite them to the event. And we did this for all 4 of our events that we did with School. And it was a very effective way for getting people to attend. We sold a lot of tickets through the strategy, just cold outreach. And we framed it as like an invitation, like, hey, we're selecting you to invite you to this really cool event. I'm not being super salesy. hard selling in the DMs off of a cold outreach it's a pretty, cutthroat tactic and kind of hard these days. Not saying it doesn't work, but for this event and for this event style and for this event brand and the whole like essence and the ethos for school, it didn't really make sense for us to do any type of hard sell. And also, there's something to be said about feeding into someone's ego when you like invite them to the event versus trying to sell them on the event. It's like, hey, we found you, we want you to attend because the experience is built for you, and we think you're going to elevate the experience for other attendees. Versus like, hey, come buy tickets to my event. Just the framing is a lot different there. And actually, invitations to people inside of the event host network is a strategy that we use to sell tickets all the time. So very effective strategy for those of you that want to sell tickets without spending money on ads or spending money on like JV partnerships, whatever it is. So yeah, I would just come in here and I would just find people that were active on the platform. You can see people that are active. You can see like when they post and when they were last on. But the limitation with school is you can only send 2 messages per day. They do that to combat spam, which is, I think it's net positive. Everyone's been on a platform where you just get spammed like daily. Pretty annoying. So what I would do is I would find people on here that were active. And once I hit my 2 messages per day limit, I would just go find them on other social media platforms and like connect with them on LinkedIn, follow them on Instagram, whatever it was. And then if I got the follow back or the connection back, then I would invite them on that way. So if you guys use school and you're using school to outreach to people, a good way to get around the 2 DMs per day is just to find them on other platforms. And like on school, on their profile, you can see, here, I'll go over to my profile. You can see like right here, it's my link to my website, my Instagram, my YouTube, my LinkedIn. So, pretty simple, pretty cool. Now let's go back over here. Second strategy was what I already mentioned. This is co-hosts promoting the event to their communities. That worked really well. And finally, organic traffic from the main host plus previous school IRL events. So like I said, Goose on the platform, he's kind of positioned himself as he's like a little celebrity on the school platform, which is cool. He's been around for a while, provides a lot of value. So he's built a following. And that following, along with all the hype he's built from the other school IRL events, was enough to get some other ticket purchasers across the line. So those are the 3 main strategies for promoting an event. And this is a good point to make. I always say in these videos, there's not one way to sell out an event or to sell tickets to an event. And for us, when we go and work with a client, we often see different opportunities present themselves in ways that we could sell out the event. So for this event style, cold outreach, leveraging the host's following and the hype he's been building with the previous events, as well as leveraging the co-host's following. That worked really well, but for your other clients, that might not work very well. So it's very dynamic. It's important to approach an event with an open mind to just to see what's there, see what opportunities are there. Because we've learned there's so many different ways to sell tickets to an event, and the strategies that work best for any given event really depends on the host, the host business, and the ecosystem they already have in place. So just a little tangent there. Now, step number 8, over communicate with attendees. We have always operated off the philosophy of just treat your attendees like they're 5 years old. I know that might sound a little offensive, but this just means be clear, have clear, consistent communication, and make the entire experience as easy as possible for them. Like, you'd be surprised at how many events we have where we have all this branding in the hallway and above them, and someone's on their phone the entire time, just doom scrolling as they walk, and then they show up to the event where do I go? Where's registration? Where's the help desk? Where's the session? And it's well, you just missed 20. Well, excuse me. I have cats and I just got some cat hair in my throat. We'll send out the itinerary 5 or 10 times to people's phones, via text message, via email, and in the community. And then they'll show up to the event and be what's the itinerary? It's if you're in events, you understand. So our philosophy is just treat your attendees like they're 5 years old, which means just over communicate, be simple, be direct. And there's no such thing as communicating too much with attendees. Just give them all the information, make sure they know exactly what to do, and make the experience as easy as possible for them. Now, step number 9, we like to host pre-event calls before our events, and sometimes that looks like webinars. Sometimes it looks like just prep calls where you just go through a checklist of what to expect at the event and kind of encourage last minute RSVPs. It really depends on the event objective. For this one, we did this on all 4 events that we worked with this client on. About 5 to 7 days before the event, we would host a pre-event call, and the framing for this call was how to maximize your experience at this event. And we would go through a few items how to attend an event, how to come ready to learn, bring a notebook, come with 3 problems that you want to solve in your mind to kind of not to use the word manifest, but like when you come with an intention, you'll likely find things that align with that intention if you're like actively thinking about it. So we just give them all these like basic principles on how to maximize their experience at an event. And then we would also be like, hey, if you want to maximize your experience at this event, you should attend both the GA day and the VIP day. And we like sell the crap out of the VIP day. Sometimes we'd have a co-host on there to like also sell the VIP day. And we pulled in like a decent amount of ticket sales from these pre-event calls. So there's just something to be said about like getting everybody on a live call so they can like see you in person talk about something, and you can like see the faces of the other attendees. That's why we like doing it. But aside from this, if you're hosting an event, we found like webinars and challenges to be a great way to sell tickets. Like just getting people onto an experience, a virtual experience, to sell your in-person experience is a great way to sell tickets. Step number 10. So we do final run throughs for this event. Right before we just do a final run through to make sure that everything is, every you could say every knot is tied. I don't know if that's a good expression for that, but we just go through and make sure like the venue's secured, make sure like the date's right, the timing's right, make sure all the co-hosts are good to go. We usually have like a group chat with all the co-hosts and just making sure that all their presentations are ready, make sure they know like where to go, what time their slot is, making sure that all the attendees have been communicated with, making sure like the food and beverage plan is fine, just making sure that everything is good to go. You want to do a final run through just to give you mainly that peace of mind. But it's just good to make sure everything is ready. And then step number 11, we hosted the event and it was very successful. And step number 12, one last invitation to join the VIP day. So on the GA day, on day one, we do like a final invitation to join VIP day. And we also do like one or two giveaways to give away VIP day spots, but we also do like a final invitation. Like you'd be surprised at how many people buy VIP tickets on site. Like they come, they experience the event, they see how valuable it is, they like meet the co-host, they see the other VIP attendees, and they're like, wow, I want to be a part of that on the next day. So we usually get at least a few VIP sales on the GA day. So the spend for this event was around like just under $1,000. The ROI, or the sales, getting ahead of myself. The sales was $4,291. This was all GA ticket sales and VIP ticket sales, and the ROI was a 4.3x. So as just a reminder, this event was not meant to be a revenue generating event. It was just meant to build the platform, the community, to strengthen the community around the school platform. But the host said like, hey, we would love to pay for these events with ticket sales, and we'd like maybe if we can see a little bit of an ROI, that'd be awesome. And we were able to get them a 4.3x ROI on the event. And this is a picture from the event. You can see the school logo in the back. That's Goose interviewing one of the co-hosts. It was actually a pretty cool venue. Actually, I didn't mention this to you guys, but the venue that we originally got canceled on us. Like it was on PeerSpace. This is one thing about PeerSpace is like sometimes the host will cancel on you, so you have to keep that in mind. That's kind of like the price you pay finding cheap venues. But a few days before the event, they canceled on us, so we had to find this brand new venue, and we were a little sussed out by it, but it worked out. Like as you can see inside, it was pretty cool, but apparently it was like not in the best location. Like the parking wasn't that great, so there were just a few things that went wrong there. But like that happens with every event. There's always going to be stuff that goes wrong at an event, and you as an event host, or like us as event creators and event designers, event operators, like our job is to like roll with the punches and to put out fires and to mold the experience to fit the things that go wrong. It's pretty fun, can't complain. Now, that's how we helped our client achieve a 4.3x ROI on their live event in just under 2 weeks. If you are a high ticket coach or consultant, or you run your own community and you're interested in hosting live events, or you're already hosting your live events, we actually have a school community for you. It's built specifically for you. As you can see, it's called Bullish Events. It's the name of our company. That's me and Ethan. Inside of this community, one, it's just a place for you to connect with other people that are also hosting events. Not other people, other coaches and consultants and community owners that are hosting live events for their business, whether it's to enroll people into their high-tech offers, to increase their revenue, to strengthen their community, to position themselves as authorities in their industry, whatever it is. This community, we're building it to be like a mastermind for other high-ticket coaching businesses that are in the industry that are hosting live events. So if that's you, it's free. You can go ahead and join and start to share what's going on with your events, or start to ask questions and just see what's working in the industry. But also, if you don't really know where to start, or you don't know how to host an event, or you don't know how to fill an event or monetize an event, we have a lot of educational material in here as well, along with some resources. So if you go to the classroom, we have this whole master class. We once at one point sold this for like $3,000, but now it's just free. I don't really like selling information anymore. So this is all free. You guys can come in here. It literally breaks down exactly what you need to do to throw a successful event, as well as like how to fill the event and how to monetize the event. And we have a few templates you can use. few resources. There's a book list, all that good stuff. So this is all completely free. There's not a single thing in here that you can buy, except for if you go to the classroom, we obviously have like our done for you services that start at $10,000 and our done with you services that start around $1,000 a month. So you can buy those things. That's where we just like do your event for you. But everything else is free. You can, the community is free, the networking, the mastermind is all free, as well as like these resources, the tools, all that good stuff. So if you want to host events for your coaching, consulting, or community business, this community is built for you. If not, no worries, but would love to see you in there. So that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.